Greeting, brothers and sisters. It's good to be here before you, and we're trying to finish what we talked about yesterday, and or the day before we had the trouble with the internet. I just want you to understand that we are researching the past, and we have to research the past so we can understand what's indeed happening in the future. And for the sake of it, we've been discussing Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and before him, other leaders that have been killed, such as Albert Cleage, Minister Malcolm X, Senator Robert Kennedy, President John F. Kennedy, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, and all of these leaders, right, far and near, in our ancestral lines, earlier and later, have been killed, that were killed, in fact, with black brothers and sisters around them. They couldn't have been successful without these black brothers and sisters. So today, we're talking about the same investigation that happened at the slave theater with Steve Coakley and Alton Maddox, who was holding the investigation to find out the chronology, so to speak, concerning the death of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Now, we're doing a live show. We're doing very short synopsis of these shows to sort of catch up with where we were, sort of catch up with the chronology of the events that led to the death of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And so these are going to be very short synopses, but it's going to keep us on the path. For one thing, we have to understand that Coakley and Maddox, which is Alton Maddox, Steve Coakley and Alton Maddox investigated the New Black Panther Party and slave theater. The Liberation Group covered this. The Black Nationalist Network covered this. So it's very important for us to understand. It's very important for us. Now, brothers and sisters, we study our past so we can understand exactly what's going on in our present. There's no way that you and I can understand what's happening in our present if we don't study our past. So we have to study the past. The past is the doorway to our understanding our behaviors, understanding the social, clinical, religious, psychological, and mental behavior of black folks, because we, in every century that we've been in, have been the very core of the existence of those organizations. We have to understand that. And that's the thing that I want you to understand. That's the thing that I want you to understand. It's important that you understand it. Because if we don't know where we come from, we don't know where we come from, then we won't know where we're going. That's the thing that I want you to understand. So we're talking about this subject. Now, let us understand exactly what happened concerning Dr. Khalid. That's the assassination, and then understand why Dr. Khalid had to be taken out. Because this alone is very important. We have to understand why he had to be taken out. There was a reason for that. There was certainly a reason for that. And we don't have any understanding of the reason as to why Dr. Khalid was taken out. Then we will understand how our other leaders are in danger of what has happened to other leaders before us. And we have leaders today. We do have leaders today, but we have to understand what has happened in the past, why it happened in the past, so that we won't make the same mistakes in the future. Many of us have betrayed and turned on the leaders that we've had. We turn on those leaders. So I want us to just concentrate on that. Concentrate on the fact that we have turned on those leaders. And that those that turned on those leaders had different agendas than individuals that supported the leaders, because that's always the case. I don't care how small it is, whether it be the Christian church, the Muslim mosque, whether it be Baha'i faith or Confucianism, whatever it may be. I don't care what it is. Whether it be a social contract theory, theory of natural law, whether it be Leninist theory, or whatever it may be. I don't care what it is. Understand that when there's a core mechanism that runs, or a core group that runs the mechanism, right? That if you interrupt that core group, that you can interrupt the movement of this organization altogether. So we have to understand that, and we have to understand exactly where we must be. We have to be in such a place. We have to be in such a place where we're able to accept the mistakes that we made in our community and be able to do better. I know I use the example of Louis Farrakhan because he's around. There's no mistake that Allah will leave him around, God will leave him around so that we can have some understanding of who this man is, who supported him, who financed him, and the evil that he did. Louis Farrakhan is in no danger of America because he's on the agenda of America. You have to know that. And every person that has organized the assassination of a leader or fixed the climate, which is still organizing the assassination of a leader, have always been a benefactor of the whatever is in opposition to that leader or the organization that is in opposition to the leader. So I just wanted you to know that, is that because that's very important. So with that being said, which is very strong knowledge, when you find out whatever the leader, anyone that has been assassinated, right? Any leader that's been assassinated, the assassinator or the killer of those leaders will benefit from the opposing force of the leaders because it's one of the same. One of the same. And all kinfolk are not skinfolk, and all skinfolk are not kinfolk. I'm sure you understand. So every Muslim doesn't wear a bow tie, right? Isn't that right? Just because you're a bow tie don't mean you're a Muslim, right? And just because you wear hijab don't make you a Muslim, but you have to have it in your heart and your mind, right? And why are we doing this? We're saying this so that there will be some repentance. So brothers and sisters will come back in the fold. We welcome them back in the fold, and that we begin to teach them the holy and acceptable teachings of Almighty God, that they might be saved. We'll save ourselves, black man and black woman of this planet. We have to save ourselves. So let's remember that. Now, also, brothers and sisters, don't forget, please don't forget that we have our thing to support our show. We have natural healing. You shouldn't be taking that stuff, other stuff anyway. You should be taking stuff that your culture is familiar with. That's what you should be taking. So I'm encouraging you to do that. Encourage you to take stuff that your culture is familiar with. So it's better for your body, and there's salvation in that. We want to keep you around longer instead of these plastics that are being used. And I have to put it that way. Hopefully you understand. Hopefully you have wisdom to understand exactly what the Spirit is saying to you today, brothers and sisters, in our congregation, right? Hopefully you have some understanding. So our desire and our prayer is to educate. We have to educate because we have to be ready. We have to be ready. We can't wait to get ready. We've got to be ready. When the bottom drops out of this thing, we have to be ready. You see Terrence Howard and all the rest of them sending out mixed messages, making you feel like they're ready, but they're not really ready. They're making you feel like they're ready. Then Terrence Howard just finished talking. Is that right or wrong? He just finished talking and he's wearing a wig like a woman. As a matter of fact, the message, he's sending out a double message. When you tell me that you don't know the difference between good and evil, that there is no difference between good and evil, then I worry about you. I have no choice. So don't forget, look on, follow us, and get these materials that we have. We'll be able to stand in the day that the devil is being taken down. He's not going to do it without a fight. Satan is not going without a fight. You got to fight him, but you can only fight him with the power of God. Now, what I want you to know is a lot of brothers and sisters in Hollywood that are going on with this devil. Terrence Howard, for instance, again, how can you make a stand if you're not willing to accept that the white man is your devil? He's your torturer on this planet. You can't take a stand. If there's no good and evil, then why are you standing up? You had to have been wrong by something or someone in order to stand up and want justice. Right? Is that right or wrong? So who's running this planet? We know who's running the planet, the Western global power structure. We know that Satan is the prince of this world, but he's not the king. And God is getting ready to turn all his power back over to us. So, brothers and sisters, we have to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of God, which is found in the best example is Jesus. He was called the Christ. Best example of that. Now, I'm going to give you a link where you're able to support us because you do need this link. And you support us as we do the work of God. We're trying God's work. It's not about us. The work is not about us. We're doing God's work. And we have things for you. I'm going to put down 2 links, and hopefully through these links, you'll be able to find everything else that you need. But we have truth for you, and we're not going to sugarcoat it. It's something that you have to have, because brothers and sisters, when you got the truth, It's so much better for you. But we've got to get it. We've got to get the truth. We've got to get the truth. Truth has been in our mind and our hearts. We have to get the truth. If we have the truth, then we have a better chance of fighting evil. Is that right or wrong? If we have the truth, we have a better chance against fighting evil. And that's what we should be concentrating on doing. We should be trying to fight evil. Right? That's what we should be doing. So God has given each of us a mission. Some of us are supposed to hold each other up. That's our job. It's to hold one another up. Right? You may not have someone else's duty, but your duty may be to hold somebody up, to be there for them, to understand them. Is that right or wrong? To understand them. So, brothers and sisters, we're on the path of glory, on the path of righteousness, on the path of salvation, and that will come. That will come. But the only way that it's going to come is if we continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of God. We've got to abound in the work of God. Is that right or wrong? We have to abound in the work of God. We have no choice. We have no choice. If we begin to abound in the work of God, then God will be able to do mighty things through us if we're abound in his work. But you can't live any kind of old life then trying to fulfill the task that God has set before you. You have to come before him a certain way. In the Old Testament, the priest wasn't right. When they went inside the temple, they tied a cord around him. If that priest was disobedient, then he'd be killed in that temple. Right? So we want you to be obedient, because obedience is better than sacrifice, brothers and sisters. You can't live any kind of old life out there and then come and think of God's going to bless you. It doesn't work that way. Brothers and sisters, don't forget, as I told you before, I'm going to put out just 2 links, and you can see that we have Imhotep University. I tell you all the time, it's something that you need to study and get down with, because Prince Imhotep University is training out leaders of herbal pharmacy. And with that herbal pharmacy, you're able to treat people inside of your community. That should be our goal and our purpose. And we have a goal and purpose. This is the kind of stuff that Khalid taught. Dr. Khalid Muhammad taught these things along with Dr. Sebi. And Dr. Khalid was just an aggressive warrior and a dedicated Muslim. That we need to build up our own community. This is the key. Why was he killed? Why was he killed? He was killed because he was good for black people. It was good for black people, building up the things that they needed, right? The stuff that we need in our communities. You'll never have a successful protest if you don't build up black people. If you don't build up black businesses in the community, you'll never have a successful protest. And that's the desire. Our desire is that we'll have a successful protest. The best and last leg of protest, the best protest you can give is to build your own. And if you build your own and create your own, then nobody can come against you. I wish I had a witness, brothers and sisters. I said, nobody can come against you if you build your own. If you're building your own, you're making money from what you're doing. Who else can come against you? Right? So we've got to be wise. We got to understand where we are. We have to understand what makes us a threat. We have to understand it. So we don't forget we have holistic practice. Brothers and sisters, putting this into the web for you. Holistic practice and products. You know you need the healthy stuff. Come on, get it. Stop playing and come on, get it. Stop playing and come on, get these healthy products, right? That'll sustain you. We need to be sustained. White man's not your friend. He's killing you. He's your enemy. He's not your friend. I hate having to say that, but it's the truth, because a lot of you all really don't understand what's going on. The white man is not your friend. He's your enemy. And he'll continue to be your enemy. He was your enemy when he brought you here. He'll continue to be your enemy. You have to understand that. You have to understand that your enemy brought you here. Your enemy put you in chains. It was your enemy. Your enemy did this. Nobody but your enemy did this. Friends don't do this, right? They don't do this. So Understand that. Now, as far as Dr. Collins is concerned, nobody can turn on us. And I say this over and over again. Nobody can turn on us unless we give them the willpower to do it. We can't turn on one another unless we yield to that temptation. Is that right or wrong? So we have to learn how to not yield to the temptation of betraying one another. Now, how does the song say, yield not to temptation, for yielding is sin. Each victory to help you, some other to win. Press manfully onward. Dark suppression of due. Just keep on looking to Jesus, and he will keep you through. You can say Jesus, God, Jehovah, Yah, whatever you, Ra, or whatever you want. Whatever you want. You can say either one of those. But just know that God is in power. Know that God is in power. When our brothers went to ask Malik Zulu Shabazz and Hashim Nzinga and Michael Muhammad what happened to Dr. Khalid, they couldn't give an answer. They couldn't answer why the ambulance wasn't called immediately, why it was called 7 hours later. We still don't know where the sister is, Amy Ambush. We don't know where she is. She call herself Nefertiri. We don't know where she is. We don't even know if that's her real name, because if you'll look, Kiana Ambush, or what name? Another name is Amy Ambush. Kiana Ambush Keen is spelled this almost the same way that the Jewish college is spelled. So it could have been an assassination attempt. You find Keen in her name. It could be a coincidence, but it could be assassination too. So we have to understand that. So we've got to get wise. We got to get steadfast. We got to get unmovable, brothers and sisters. Right? And these brothers couldn't provide any answers because they was involved. But we've got to make sure that we're not fulfilling any traps that the enemy is setting out in front of us, that we're not acting these traps out of or playing our part in these traps. Because the more independent that we become, the more that we stick together, you'll find out that he has no power. He can't control us. The only way that he can do it is through other people. So unfortunately, this was the reason why Dr. Khalid was killed. And also, Steve Coakley and Alton Maddox are asking questions of something that they know, not what they don't know, but something that they know. And you can go listen to Steve Coakley, Brother Hannibal. The name of the show is Brother Hannibal. And what he talked about a lot of these things. I was there, and you'll see in earlier shows, I've talked about the very same thing, because we have to keep this in front of the people. We got to keep this in front of the people. And I think that's the most difficult thing in the world to understand, why we do this. Why do we do this? It's not fun to do. We got to stay on schedule. We got to stay on track, because it's something that you need to hear. And so it's not a long briefing, but it's short, because I want you to understand in chronology what's going on. And I want to place a message to you that they can't kill us if we won't sell each other out. We got to stop talking about one another. We got to stop backstabbing one another. We got to treat one another with respect. That we have to do, brothers and sisters. If we don't do it, we're lost the race already. Right? Because our ancestors tell us in beauty, right? In unity, there's strength. That our unity is beautiful. Is that right or wrong? All right, brothers and sisters. Well, I'm so thankful to have this time in front of you to be able to talk. And I ask that God will bless you on everything you do. Right? And that it will be on the level of righteousness, that your mind and heart will be righteous, that you'll have salvation. That's my desire, my prayer. Also, brothers and sisters, don't forget, if I didn't tell you in the beginning, I want to tell you now that I do love you. I love you, and what I put out is tough. It's very tough. I always put out tough love in front of the people that I'm with and the people that are around me, and I love you. So I've got to be tough with you. I can't beat around the bush. I can't tiptoe through the tulips. I just can't do that. I can't hold your hand skipping through the garden. I can't do that. I got to give you truth. I got to give you facts, because this is the only thing that's going to keep you, because the truth is the only thing that can make you free. So again, as I said before, I do love you. I love you with all my heart, all my mind, all my strength. And I ask you to love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. Mother and father, love one another. Children, love your mother and father. Respect one another. Families stick together. Remember that. Extended or close, far and near. Families stick together. That's the desire. That's my prayer. And I say unto you, if I didn't say it in the beginning, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you.